forward this by email after the session.
Okay. So this is very helpful, especially to business persons who wanted always to exceed on their fields, especially business people who always wanted to have their company be the best in their fields and produce the best without having too much on the cost. Kasi medyo we are looking forward on the lowest cost possible. So I perfected this Six Sigma because I am an industrial engineering major. So this one is for me. And then I'm sharing this one to everyone who wants to have a better and fresh perspective of the business. So I'll be sharing my screen para I can start. Pa-disable ako, pa-enable ako ng sharing ng screen. Thank you. Can I have the sharing of the screen be enabled? Salamat. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
working on that.
Okay.
Can you try now?
Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Visible naman?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. If you have questions in between my lecture, please let me know so I can answer it directly. Kung medyo mabilis or I'm a bit you're a bit confused sa mga sinasabi ko. So we will be having a good interaction between the discussion. Okay? So actually, I'm giving away free webinars, especially to those organizations who wants to have introduction to Lean Six Sigma, especially for professionals and organizations. So again, I'm Rick Donald S. Manzon, and I'm a Six Sigma Green Belter also, and I am a Six Sigma practitioner. So later on, I'll be discussing the levels of Six Sigma and the belts para you have the idea on what we are having with Six Sigma. So for my presentation this evening, you will be having the history of Six Sigma, what is Lean, Six Sigma itself. So we have what we call DMAIC and DMADV. That is the one you can see on your poster. I visited your poster. So you already included this one there. So we will be differentiating it and identifying which is which. And Six Sigma computation. So we have a little bit of computation. So don't worry, no long formulas, very easy to understand and very relatable. Everyone will be very relatable to it. And if the time permits, so we will be having applications, case studies, and Q&A. So before anything else, actually Six Sigma is given for at least 2 days of lectures, of thorough lectures with case studies. So if you are wanting to have this one, if you find yourself more interested with this one, at the end of my presentation, I can help you to be engaged to those rightful person to give you the certification itself. And for you to enroll formally to those schools that is giving Six Sigma certifications. So disclaimer, a little bit of disclaimer, all of the contents in this presentation is including its features and functionalities protected by copyright. So if you wanted to use it or you wanted to capture it again, please cite it properly and present the material well. Okay, before we start, my first question is, who among our participants this evening know and have an idea about Six Sigma? Anyone? So most probably your question is, what is Six Sigma, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
what is Six Sigma? And from a guesstimate standpoint, I'm guessing it's like risk related, being able to reduce risk and increase quality. But you also mentioned about cost, so definitely interested in learning about that.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I will not be answering anything muna, or later on I'll be explaining it more. Okay, so the second question is more likely like, why Six Sigma? Why use it? So in the market today, in academic institution today, we have a lot of things. Methodologies, tools, applications, right? That is engaged into business, and we can use it free anytime we wanted. But among those methodologies, tools, and applications, why Six Sigma? So maybe that is the biggest question everyone will be getting out of tonight's discussion. So later on, you will be self-evaluating yourself. Hopefully, I gave you a good explanation of Six Sigma, and then question it. How Six Sigma will be helping me, and how Six Sigma will be helping my business or my company or my organizations. So let's proceed. So every time in business, we are measuring our capability, right? How good is good enough? Even in our personal perspective, right? So we are always questioning what is better, good or best. So even on disinfecting alcohols, we have 99.9%. So is 99.9% already good? Anyone? Is 99.9% already good? Maybe, because
Yeah,
it's almost 100, right?
Yeah, 99.9% is really good. It's like only 1.1% out of the
1%.
rest that you're missing.
Yeah, we are very close to 100, so we are almost perfect, right?
Yeah,
If my professor in college will be giving me 99.9% on my exam, goodness, I will be throwing a beer party on my backyard now, right?
I'm coming.
Because I'm almost perfect, right? But
Yeah,
if we will be evaluating 99.9% in business and in our daily life is equivalent to 4,000 wrong medical prescriptions per year. Imagine,
Wow.
4,000 medical prescriptions per year. Also, 99.9% or 0.1% is equivalent to 3,000 newborns, babies, accidentally falling to the hands of nurses or doctor each year. 3,000 babies, 3,000
Wow.
newborns.
That's a lot.
And
That's a lot.
it's a lot, right? So 99.9% also is 2 long or short landings at American airport each day. That is equivalent to 0.1%. Imagine if you are the 1% who will be having a short or long landings. My goodness, my heart will be falling apart, right? And 99.9% is equivalent to 400 letters per hour, which never arrives their destinations. So, again, I will be questioning everyone. How good is 99.9%, especially in the business? Di ba? Good questioning, right? So, how 99.9% is already very good? So, let's recreate the scenario. So, from 4,000 wrong medical prescription each year, let's make it 13 wrong prescriptions per year. Quite many, but again, from 4,000, it became 13 prescriptions, right? Wrong prescriptions. From 3,000 newborns, let's make it 10 newborns that is being dropped. 10 is a lot also, di ba? But it is way better than 3,000, right? The 2 long and short flights, let's make it 2 and long, same. And then for the 400 letters, let's make it 1 lost article per mail per hour. So 400, 1 is better than 400, right? So with this simple calculation, the answer, how did we do this one? The answer is Six Sigma. Okay. A while ago, I presented you this one. So we can call it 4.6 Sigma. That is 99.9%, meaning to say we will be having 1,000 parts per million in our daily lives. That is 4.6 Sigma. That is the computation. So 99.9% is equivalent to 4.6 Sigma. or we are allowed to have rejects or defects at a number of 1,000 per million of our product or our services. So are you getting it? So we are allowed for it to have 1,000 per million of our goods or services. In Six Sigma, we are allowed to have this one. Okay? So we are lessening the possible defects and rejects of our defects on our products or services that we are giving away to the customer. So I'm having a lot of chat. Okay, not for me. So the answer is Six Sigma. So before we proceed to that, the next big question for my audience will be how we can do that. The idea is good, diba? How are we going to do that? So before anything else, I will be giving you a brief description and history of Six Sigma. So Six Sigma or Sigma is a Greek term used in statistics to represent standard deviation. So if you will be recalling your statistics, yeah, you have the standard deviation from mean value, an indicator of degree of variation in a set of a process. So Sigma measures how far a given process deviates from perfection. And higher Sigma capability, meaning better performance. So how are we going to do that? So what is Six Sigma? So Six Sigma is a highly disciplined process that enables organization to deliver nearly perfect products and services. So any one of us engage in organizations or on our business producing products or producing services are nearly can use Six Sigma, right? So Six Sigma is as a figure of 6 arrived statistically from current average maturity of most business enterprises. It is also a philosophy and a goal. So as perfect as practically possible, right? Especially for those organizations who are delivering products or services that is what? Nearly can cost lives of people. Like for example, the newborns, right? The hospitals, the services, other services, the airlines. So a methodology of symbol of quality and statistical concept and a statistical concept that measures the process in terms of defects at a Six Sigma level. So a while ago, I tell you there is a 3.4 defects per million opportunities if we will be having Six Sigma. So for 1 million products or 1 million services that we will be having in our organization, we have a target of only 3.4 defects per million. So very close to perfect, right? So that is how we measure Six Sigma. So Six Sigma also is a vision and philosophical commitment to our customers to offer highest quality and lowest cost products. Okay, so this is a commitment. So again, on our customers, if our customers is having a trust in us in producing their products or services, of course, we can be helped by the use of Six Sigma. So also, Six Sigma is a metric that demonstrates quality levels at 99.9997%. A while ago, we said that 99.9% is good enough for us. But then again, now in Six Sigma, we will be having our metric at 99.999%. So also, Six Sigma is a benchmark of our products and processes capability for comparison to best in class. So later on, I'll be discussing what is best in class. And a practical application of the statistical tools and methods to help us measure, analyze, improve, and control our process. Again, guys, Six Sigma, we will be using a little bit of statistics, but not those kind of hardcore statistics that a statistician is using. So we will be using simple computations and simple mathematics in statistics. So later on, I'll be discussing. So don't worry, there's no hardcore mathematics involved. So basic statistics, just basic statistics. Okay. So a little bit of a history of Six Sigma. This was introduced by an American engineer, Bill Smith, while working on Motorola in 1996. Also, Jack Welch made it central to business strategy in General Electric in 1995. And the Six Sigma process is one in which yung 99.99966 or 9997% of all opportunities to produce some features of a part are statistically expected to be free of defects. Again, Six Sigma strategies to seek improve the quality of the output of the processes by, please take note, identifying and removing the cause of the defects. Okay, let's put it in this way. In our businesses, we can see defects, right? We can see defects or defective items in the products or services. But then again, in Six Sigma, we will be identifying and removing the cause of those defects. So we will not be able to produce the defective item or the defective service prior. So we will be lessening the cost from the defects. That is the two different aspects. The one that most of the companies is using today is by visual inspection of the made items or services that they already made. So they will be handpicking the defective and not shipping it out. But the product is already there. They already produce it. They already put money, effort, and resources to produce that product. In Six Sigma, we will be identifying where is the causes of that defects and avoid to produce the defects for us to lessen our cost, production costs. Okay? And the last one is it uses a set of quality management methods, mainly empirical statistics, statistical methods, and it creates special infrastructure within the organization who are expert in these methods. So the importance of having Six Sigma in your company, not only you who knows this one, but sharing the concept with your co-workers or members of your organization will give a bigger impact on making your companies or organization a good Six Sigma practitioner. So not only you who can practice this one, but I suggest after you having the idea of what Six Sigma can do to your company or organization, make your members or your organization know it. So every one of you is practicing Six Sigma. Okay, you can start small, or you can start a small group and then you share it to another department, something like that. So everyone in your company is functioning and understanding what is Six Sigma. Okay. So there a lot of history. So define the sequence of steps, have specific value targets. For example, reduce process cycle time. Actually, this is the most important one. So we wanted to reduce the process cycle time, especially in producing products and services. And reduction of pollution, very timely for our global problems. We wanted to reduce the production. And one of my favorite, and of course, your favorite also, reduction of the cost. In industrial engineering, we are always having this objective: reduce the cost, remove the cost as much as possible, or no cost possible as much as possible. So one of my favorite topics under Six Sigma is reduction of cost. And the next one is increasing customer satisfaction. So one of my favorite also, because we always wanted our customer to be satisfied. So we always wanted our customer to us to exceed their expectation, right? And the only objective of our organizations or of our companies is to have a satisfied customer, because without them, we have no business at all. So that is the important part. We must have to satisfy and exceed their expectation. And the companies and also one of my favorite is, syempre, to increase profit, right? We always wanted to increase our profit without having us making costs higher also. So we wanted to always to reduce the cost and make our profits increase. So what is the answer? Again, Six Sigma. Okay. So this one, a lot of history. By the way, I'll be giving the materials to your organization so you can have it yourself, or you can email me. So no need for you to take a screenshot of the presentations. No need. So you email me, I can send you the material, or you can scan this code at the corner of my presentation, or look for I Exit Philippines. This is my academic, by the way, this is my academic institution online. I founded it last pandemic. Every teacher is on house, so I don't want to stop the process of learning for everyone. So I created this one. This is a non-profit, government organization. So if you have questions regarding other topics in business and in industrial engineering, you can contact me then. Okay. So this is a basic presentation of the Six Sigma philosophy. So before, we have this idealism that high quality products or services must have high cost, right? For example, on stickers or on shoes, if the shoes is highly priced, we are expecting this one on a high quality, right? Am I right? Or am I left? Yeah, I'm right, right? If we wanted the service to be very good or very satisfying, we are expecting it to be on high cost, right? So that is Four Sigma belief. If we will be graphing this one, very simple graph, this is the old belief. This is Four Sigma. So the new belief in Six Sigma, high quality at low cost. So better processes reduce costs. So for example, a very good example is if we wanted to sell a phone, right? This one is a phone, okay? We will be putting the best quality materials we can have on this phone to produce a best quality phone. Okay? Same as with the two belief, we will be using there. But how are we going to lower the cost? We can look into the process reduction cost of the product. So if my process of producing this product will cost me, let's say, for example, $100, so I can look for the way of processing this product and reduce its cost. Okay? So from 100, I can make it like 50. So I'll be having a $50 reduced cost. But then again, same product, same quality of the material. Yeah. And then I have additional $50 income, right? Yeah, simple math. Some think of it as if I wanted to create a better or a higher cost income in this product. Let's say, for example, I'm selling this one for $100. I will be putting $50 additional to the original cost. And then I'm having additional $50 income. But in perspective of, in the philosophy of Six Sigma, we will be looking into ways on how we can reduce the cost of this product in processing and make that one our income. So the new belief, if we will be reducing the sigma, if we will be going to 5 sigma, and if we go into 6 sigma, we can say that higher quality, we can do also lower cost. Okay. So question so far? Okay, no
Quick question. So I think when you say a cost, quality, cost, does that mean that the quality is decreased, or how,
no,
like how do you stop the babies from getting sick?
No, that is the big question. That is the big questions of everyone. If you wanted to reduce the cost, you will be compensating on the raw materials or the quality of the product, right? So that is the old belief. that if the material is in low quality, I'm expecting this one to be cheap, right? Now we can say using Sigma philosophy that if we wanted to produce a quality product, we can also have it on low cost, not compensating the quality of the materials of the product that we'll be using, but then again on the way on how we process it, on how we make it. So on the way from the raw materials up to the finished product, there is a big link on our operational cost. We call it operational cost on the way to create the product, right? So that way, we will be looking for the possible causes of defects, of delays, of unnecessary actions or unnecessary processes that can be converted into cost. So there are not value-added activities within the operation that can be removed or that can be personally detached from the system so that we can make it faster and then make it the cost of this one is lower than the usual way of producing it.
And then, but when you say the cost is lower, then does that mean as a phone user, you're like, hey man, if you could get me a phone, you could get me a phone. If you could get me any phone, for example, regardless of quality, for the end user, you're saying, okay, so no, I'm gonna get a phone. I'm gonna get a phone, and then it's gonna be low cost and high quality. Is that possible? Like to do that?
Most of the companies, to be honest, for example, the cost of the phone is $100, right? And the cost of producing the product is, let's say, for example, $50. So they have an income of $50, right? So in philosophy of Six Sigma, if we wanted to increase the income of the company, companies with the normal understanding will be adding additional, let's say for example, $20. So the total cost of the product, which is 100, it will become $120. So we can we will be increasing the actual cost of the product to 120 to have additional $20 income. From 50, we will be having 70, right? In Six Sigma, we will not be moving, we will not be changing the cost of the product. Okay? So from the $50 production cost, we will now be lessening the production cost to $30. So the $70 that the company would want to have as a new income will be there. So we will not be compensating for the quality. We will be using the same quality of the materials. But then again, we will be inspecting on how we can make our processes better. So that is the philosophy of Six Sigma. Most of the,
as a company, but as an end user, say as a client, as a say for actual phone user, you're saying, I can get a phone, a new phone for really good quality for the same cost, based on my needs, right? So based on anything, it has to be fast, good quality, production. So for example, it would be addressing on a client need. So so I would say, okay, cool. If you could get me a phone, and with the phone, I'd also be able to do this and this and this, and with the same quality at Six Sigma, then why wouldn't I use Six Sigma as a standard practice, even as an end user, not just as a production company, not just as a production plant. I know which the customer is ordinary anyway, because without the customer there would be no plant. Then so would I just be like, okay, so give me a phone, nice phone, good quality, less cost, then it's a win-win situation for everybody, which is good. So can I implement Lean Sigma in my life as an end user, not just like as a company?
Actually, for the philosophy of that, I get your side. Yeah, we as a consumer also, we always wanted to have everything at the cheapest possible price, right? But then again, the philosophy of Six Sigma is for the organization who would want to have their process be better and their income be on a higher perspective. But on my part, to answer your question, as a consumer, me being the consumer, so I make to it to evaluate the product first before I purchase it. Let's say, for example, there are for the phones, there are phones who have highest quality, but then again, the price is cheaper. Not unlike those branded phones that has a good quality, but then again, the price is higher, right? So I can suggest that it's based on the perspective of the end consumers. But for me, I can use Six Sigma, especially on my personal consumption, because I can practice evaluating what are the things that I will be purchasing, and then make it up to it that I am purchasing the things that I need specifically, identify the requirements, and then not exceeding to the price point that is compared to other, something like that.
Oh, okay. So ideally, you would be looking at you'd be looking at the variable income from a quality standpoint, a quality standpoint, to improve a process. So how do you essentially improve a process? Do you do like introspection or retrospection to improve a process? Like, for
Actually,
example,
later on, I will be discussing the process. Actually, on Six Sigma, you can apply it into your daily life, especially on
Yeah.
the processes that we're always doing. So, for
Uh-huh.
example, commuting from your place, going to your work, so that we have expense, we have time, we have distance, right? So we will be evaluating the elements. There are other possible way of you commuting from your own home to your workplace, something like that. Or maybe on your making your dinner, simple as that, you can apply Six Sigma on that. So using ingredients, right, we have the process, and then we have the end product. So all of those actions can be applied. Six Sigma can be applied. So later on, I will be discussing the processes.
That is fantastic. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you. As long as the
Sure.
babies are safe. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. No worries. So I'll continue. So what is Six Sigma? So Six Sigma, guys, is not a standard. Again, because I am explaining you the beauty of it. So this is not a standard. Also, though we have certification for the practitioner of Six Sigma is not a certification or another metric-like percentage that we are using on methodologies, on lectures. Rather, it is a quality philosophy and a way of improving performance by knowing where you are and where we could be. Right? And then, rather, methodology to measure and improves companies' performance, practices, and system. Because we are all part of the organization, right? We are all part of a business. So there is an existing operation therein, or we wanted to do a new product or a new services. We wanted to make it to improve the company's performance. We wanted also to improve the company's practices and systems. So that's what Six Sigma is. So please remember that. Okay. So why Six Sigma? Our second question a while ago. So Six Sigma emerged as a natural evolution in business to increase profit by eliminating defects. We will be eliminating defects, and we wanted to increase our profit. So the current process business environment now demands and rewards innovation more than ever before due to, number one, customer expectation. This is our biggest problem and our biggest note on every businesses. Customer expectations. We always wanted to make their expectation exceeded, right? Technological change, right? So your phone today is not the most functional phone tomorrow. Okay? Last year, before pandemic, the best way to learn is to the classrooms. Now we have the webinars. So technology changes, right? Global competition. I'm sorry, I guess my power is back. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I
okay.
my power is interrupted. So The third one is global competition, right? Our organization is always making to it that we are on the top of the business system, right? So we are doing our best to make our competitors or our other business that is same with our business be there. So global competition and market fragmentation. So these are the question why we should use Six Sigma. Okay. So in Six Sigma, by the way, guys, we have level of capability. A while ago, I tell you what is 99.9%. So it falls right under 3 Sigma capability. So that is the 66,807 defects per million of opportunities. So 2 Sigma, for 1 million products or services that we will be producing, we are allowed on the bracket of 308,573 products, defective products allowed, right? And as we go higher, on 5th and 6th, we are only allowed 3.4 for Six Sigma. So that is our computation. Okay, so remember that. For example, your company is producing a phone, and for 1 million phones that you produce, you have 50,000 defective phone units. So you fall under 3 Sigma capabilities. So with there, we can measure that your company is performing under 3 Sigma level capability. And then we wanted to improve. So not necessarily meaning you will be jumping into Six Sigma. At least you improve your company into 4. So from 50,000, you are now producing 5,000 Sigma defective units. So you will be jumping into 4 or better into 5. And the best is on Six Sigma. So 3.4 or there's no 0.4 cell phone, right? So 3 defective phones per 1 million produced cell phones. If I am the owner of Apple, so 3 defective units per 1 million produced cell phones is very big for me, right? Because it's how much is an iPhone right now? Like $1,000. That is $3,000. That is a big money already, right? And if I am owner of a hospital and there is a defective 3 patients, we don't have 4.4 patients, right? So we have 3 patients who died on my hospital. That is a big issue with me. That is life of a people. So as much as possible, a perfect ratio for my hospital would be, right? So this is the Sigma level capability. So we can use this one as a references on the future. So you can evaluate your companies, your organization. Where are we? How much defects are we producing? So per million, always per million counting. So you can decrease this one and increase on the basic computation. Decrease the, for example, you are producing 1,000 products or service a month, or you can quantify it either ways. So you just use this table on computations. So most of the companies using Six Sigma, we have the Motorola who first started using it. If you can see, most of the companies using Six Sigma now are hospitals, right? We have St. Luke's in Makati Medical Center. So we introduced Six Sigma there. We also have banks. We also have airlines. We have Singapore Airlines. We have Japan Airlines. We have American Airlines, AA. Because one short or long haul landings can cost them too much, right? So they wanted to perfect the process of doing Six Sigma. So airline companies are using this one. Google is using this one. IKEA, Tim Hortons, GE, Ford. So as you can see, companies patronizing and using Six Sigma are the companies, are the big companies who is producing expensive products or services, right? So they cannot afford to lose or to have a defective quality of service or product. So they are implementing Six Sigma. As well as the White House in Washington, in DC, they are using Six Sigma. So as you see here from DC, your government is using this one. And I'm hoping in the future or sooner, in the Philippines, government will be using Six Sigma because we wanted to remove defective actions, defective processes in the government here in the Philippines. And also other governments as well. So I'm wishing for that. So
We like
let's
Six
have
Sigma. We love Six Sigma. And who, like, you know, it's like it's important for survival.
Yeah, actually, on my younger years, I've been visiting my uncle in California. So every time I'll be processing something on the government, I see no line. I see no people waiting like 2 or 3 hours just for single receipt or single paper. I have not experienced that one in the US. But here in the Philippines, single receipt, single payment, a small document that you will be needing from the government, you will be lining up like 8 hours a day, like lining in the queue for 5 hours, just to seeing unnecessary activities that the government employees are doing. So I'm not making pinpoint, especially on the
Wow.
bank here in the Philippines. You want to make a single deposit, right? The single deposit that you will be making, like for example, you will be depositing $1,000 on your account. That would take the officer doing that like less than a minute, right? You
Yeah.
take the money, you input your account number, and then print the receipt. In the Philippines, I experienced it very bad. Waiting in line for 8 whole hours just for a single deposit.
Wow. You don't even have to
Imagine-
leave the house here. All you have to do is take a picture, take a photo of the, you could take a photo of the cash even, or you could use a digital payments engine to convert that cash into credit, and then from that credit deposit it, you know, deposit it anywhere. So deposit at one bank, it'll go to your bank, or you could even take for example, somebody that will pay you on a paycheck like ahead, meaning if you work, so all you have to show them that you're working, and then they'll pay you 2 weeks ahead for that same check. So you know, it'll deposit, so you don't even have to leave the house to do that. I mean, much less wait 8 hours or 6 hours, much less wait 6 hours or 8 hours or anything like that. If you do anything like that here, it will start revolting. There, you know, people will start throwing things on you know, with like
and not all of the time people are like me, that is very patient waiting in line. There are some, you have the Karens in the US, right? No, waiting for 10 or 5 minutes would make their temper bad, right? So luckily in the Philippines, we are improving. So most of the banks here in the Philippines are using more modes of payments, or more ways to deposit or withdraw their account, and other activities in the banks. So most likely, every organization here in the Philippines and abroad should be using Six Sigma to make their processes even better.
yeah, exactly. Customer happiness is the only thing that matters.
Yeah. So let's compare Six Sigma and Three Sigma and Six Sigma. For Three Sigma company, this is an overview for you to evaluate the stuffs that I presented. So it can be applied everywhere. Just remember, Six Sigma can be applied everywhere. Okay? As much as you are producing a product or a services, you can do Six Sigma there. So these are some of the examples I've computed personally. So make sure na we can apply it everywhere. So the possibilities are limitless. So a Three Sigma company spends 15 to 25% of sales on dollars on cost of failure, right? So that is a computation that we have. So on my study on Six Sigma, spends 5%. Imagine from 15 to 25% down to 5% on sales on dollars on cost of failures. Another one, Three Sigma company relies on inspection to find defects. So visual inspection, we are looking for the defective one. In Six Sigma, we rely on capable process that don't produce defects. Beautiful, right? So we are not expecting defects because we are on the process of looking on way how to not to produce defects. Okay. On Three Sigma company does not have a disciplined approach to gather and analyze data. Okay. On Six Sigma, we use measure, analyze, improve, control, and measure, analyze, design. So we have a methodology. We have an approach. In Three Sigma, we benchmark themselves against their competition. Okay. In Six Sigma, we benchmark ourselves against best in the world. Okay, that is the two big difference aspects. Okay. And the last one, in the next one, in Three Sigma company, we believe 99% is good enough. Okay. A while ago, we all believe that actually on our evaluation to ourselves a while ago on the start of this presentation, we believe that 99% is good enough. We are a Three Sigma company or you are a Three Sigma person. Now, me explaining to you the beauty of Six Sigma, you believe that 99.9% is unacceptable. Okay? So you join me believing that, you join me on the side of Six Sigma that you believe that 99.9% is unacceptable. And the last one, Three Sigma company, we define critical to quality internally. Okay? In Six Sigma company, we define critical to quality externally. We always wanted our customers to exceed their expectation. Okay? So there are we. So we compared Three Sigma. Before the start of this presentation, we are all in the side of Three Sigma. Okay? I guess and I hope that after explaining all of you this one, we are on the side of Six Sigma now. Okay? We are a while ago we are good persons, right? Now we are better persons. Yeah. Okay. So for Six Sigma guys, again, we have Six Sigma trainings available. Actually, the first one who have these trainings are in US. And now we have here in the Philippines. And you can find Six Sigma trainings around. So later on, if you are been interested in the certifications, I can help you look for someone who can who you can enroll with. Again, we have different levels and trainings. So we have green belt, black belt, and master black belt, and the champion. Okay, green belt. The task of green belt, they utilize statistical quality techniques. Okay, so we have 2 to 5% of their times on consultation and training and mentoring. So we have related projects counts. So if you have projects or research projects that you wanted to be a green belt, so you have at least 2 projects a year. So for black belt, this is the lead use of techniques and communicate to no one. So time consultation is 5 to 10 hours. Percent, sorry, on time consultation. So related projects is 4 per year. Up to the last one, that is the master black belt. So consultation time is 80 to 100%. So 5 black belts for mentoring and 10 projects per year. So champions are the one who is 100% fully doing 100% doing Six Sigma all of the time. So he is mentoring master black belts and 10 related projects per year. So you can engage yourself to different Six Sigma practitioner schools, institution that is offering Six Sigma trainings. You can start with green belt, black belt, and master, and then improve yourself to master black belt. If you wanted to pursue and just do Six Sigma, you can do that. In my case, I am a green belter. I only have to have 2 projects relations per year because I am also an academician. So I'm teaching in university. So I can only handle that one. So I get my certification on a school here in the Philippines. And I am always like this. For example, I always invited into mentoring and then consultation in their organizations, small businesses, and also manufacturing companies or service companies for them to introduce Six Sigma in their companies. I can do also that. So if your company is needing of improvements and you wanted to take a fresh start of Six Sigma and try new methodology that is effective and efficient, so you can tap me. My email address is available on the material on the webpage of IIBA. Just use Zay on my surname, that is RS Manzon, not RS Manson. using Zay. Okay. So for Six Sigma methodology, it takes time to save money. So we are using 3 methodology, the BPMS, the Business Process Management System. So this is the most easy one. If you wanted to implement the process immediately, we will be using Business Process Management at that point. If the process is existing and we wanted to improve that, we will be using the MAIC or the Six Sigma Improvement Methodology. The MAIC stands for Design, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. Again, if the process is already been there and you wanted to improve the process, so we will be using the MAIC. And the next one, the DMADV. So DMADV. If the process is new or non-existent, so we will be using the DMADV. So the DMADV stands for Design, Measure, Analyze, Develop, and Verify. So creating a new process which performs Six Sigma. So let's go on to Lean methodology. So Lean methodology is a systematic approach to reduce or eliminate activities that don't add values to the process. The one I'm telling a while ago. So for example, in our process, a simple process of cooking, right? If we want to cook a fry, right? Potato fry, we will be having the raw materials, we will be cutting it, we will be frying it, and then we have the simple potato fry. But then again, on our process of turning the raw materials into a finished product, we are having unnecessary activities, right? So that don't add value to the process. Like for example, if you cut the fry and then you leave it there for 30 minutes and then you come back, do nothing. So the 30 minutes is a waste of time already, right? We wanted to eliminate that. So simple process. On the process of our organization, for example, signatures. If you wanted to make something approved, right? We have the signatories who will be approving it. So for example, from 10 signatories that you will be having, why not eliminate from your boss to the end user of that signatories? So eliminate the 8. So save time, save effort, save cost, money, right? So it emphasizes in removing wasteful step in a process and taking the only value added step. So the Lean methods ensure high quality and customer satisfaction. Okay, it helps in reducing process cycle time. Okay, the time that we are consuming in producing a product or service. Also improving product or service delivery time. Especially now, everything is just a click away and on a delivery schemes, right? So we wanted to improve our product and service on our deliveries, right? And also our deliveries on our organizations. For example, we have a task on producing something. So we wanted to make it fast and efficient as much as possible. So we no longer wait for 3 days before something completes. So it can be done at the moment, right? Much better. And also reducing or eliminating the change of defect generation. So we wanted to not make defects. Okay. So the process of looking for the possible way to not do mistake. Okay. And then reducing the inventory levels and optimizing resource for key improvements among others. And lastly, it is a never-ending approach to waste removal, thus promotes continuous chain of improvement. So in our operation, we will be eliminating MUDA. MUDA is a Japanese term for defects. So if you wanted to learn more about MUDA, you contact me. So I can lecture you on MUDA. We have 7 kinds of waste in our organization. So I can do a lecture with that also. So yun. For removing waste in Lean methodology, we are using MUDA, or the Japanese term introduced by Japanese engineer and my favorite engineer of all time, Taiichi Ohno of Toyota in 1960s. So we have downtime acronym for that. So that is the 8 ways for MUDA. So this one is used for TPS, Toyota Production System, because they cannot afford a wasteful product. Okay. So this is MUDA. Waste of defects, waste of overproduction of our goods and services, waste of waiting, my favorite one, I hate to wait. So waste of waiting, waste of non-utilized talents, on our organization, we have almost everyone. I don't want to give examples on this one, but I guess every one of us has experienced and observed that we have non-utilized talents on our organization, right? So we are paying them, they are going to work, but they are not functioning as what they should be doing, and so on. So non-utilized talent. Ways of transportation. For example, you will be transporting one item to another before it goes to the endpoint. Why not ship it directly to the endpoint or make it directly to the endpoint? So why transport so many things? Ways of inventory, excess products and materials being processed. So why are we overproducing, right? So produce what is needed and produce what is only will be bought, something like that. So you don't want to have expired goods or unutilized materials or talents or services, something like that. Waste of motion, unnecessary movement by people, like for example, walking around, right? So gossiping, that is unnecessary motion. So there. And extra processing. Why apply extra process on a certain process that can be done at one point at a time? So more work is higher quality than the required than the customer. So why not do things that you are not asked to do? So do what is only asked you to do, something like that. So that is also a waste. So again, MUDA is can be downtime can be used as an acronym. So defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and those are waste. So yeah, I'll be also giving away the definition of waste. So for lean tools in Six Sigma, if you wanted to push through learning Six Sigma, you will be taught lean methodology, introduction to some important lean tools. We also have value stream mapping. So this is a very effective tool to identify process waste and cost of these waste. So we will, in this tool, we will be identifying what are those wastes and where it is coming from, and what are the costs. So something like that. Kaizen is a Japanese term also and a Japanese tool, meaning to say this is a continuous improvement approaching focusing on small to small improvement. So for example, we have the operation and we wanted to improve it. So we will be using Kaizen, meaning to say we will be just starting small until we have the domino effect of every small part of our organizations or our company is being Kaizen or being improved. Just in time is a full approach to meet customer demands as it and when it flows from a customer. So just in time tool is creating a way of delivering the goods or service the moment it is needed. So we will not be producing too many, or we will not be doing prediction or on producing, because it's a wasteful thing to do. And SMED, or the single minute exchange of dies, it is an improvement equipment changeover in time. So it works on the principle of reducing changeover time to within 10 minutes. So we can elaborate that further. Also, we have Pokayoke. This is a mistake-proofing device used to assemble to alert operators at defects or a failure. So we can also learn for that. We also have Jidoka, or the automation. So this is known as an intelligent automation. So it's stop the assembly or production in line of defects occur. And Heijunka, or it is a concept of line balancing. Okay, Gemba is go and see. So the aim of this one is to on the actual place of work, we observe the processes and execute in real time with care and record the observation. This is another way to find process pitfalls. And Kanban. So Kanban is a signal system to manage inventory levels. So these are the tools that we can meet in Six Sigma. So again, as the American Society for Quality states, Six Sigma is a fact-based, data-driven philosophy improvement that values defect prevention over defect detection. Okay, it drives customer satisfaction and the bottom line results by reducing variations, waste, and cycle time while promoting the use of work standardization and flow, thereby creating a competitive advantages. So it applies anywhere variation and waste exist, and every employee should be involved. So Lean Six Sigma combines a strategy of Lean and Six Sigma. Lean principles help to reduce or eliminate process waste. Six Sigma focuses on variation, reduction in process. Take note of that. And thereby, the principles of Lean Six Sigma help to improve the efficiency and the quality of the process. Again, efficiency and quality of the process. Okay. So this is a definition of Six Sigma on a diagram. So for Lean, our goal is to improve the process performance through waste elimination and cycle time. When we wanted to improve this one into Six Sigma, the goal now is to improve the process performance in relation to what is critical to the customer. Okay, our focus on Lean is a bias for action, and then the focus in Six Sigma is a bias for analysis. So we use different methods. Like for example, in Lean, implement Lean tools such as Kaizen, events, value stream mapping, 5S, TPM, etc. For Six Sigma, we use the MAIC method, the MADV, and quality tools. So for deployment, implicit infrastructure. For Six Sigma, explicit. So for Lean, we have speed, flow, and cost. And for Six Sigma, customer satisfaction. Combining these two methodology, we will be having Lean Six Sigma. So Lean, on the other side, will focus on waste elimination to support Six Sigma quality. While Six Sigma supports Lean to less rework means faster cycle time. So if we implemented this one in our organization, if we implemented this one on our company, how beautiful a company can be, right? Diba? Lean Six Sigma. So this is business process management system. And we have 7 QC tools for that. And this is the MAIC. I saw this one on your poster. So the MAIC is a logical and structured approach to solve problem solving and process improvement. So it in iterative process, or this is a continuous improvement. So quality tools which focus on the change management tiles. Again, the MAIC is used for if the process is already been there, or the system is already been there and we wanted to improve it. So we will be using the MAIC. So this is define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. This is a cycle. And if the process is new, if you wanted to implement new process, we will be using, okay, the MADV. So define, measure, analyze, design, and verify phase. Okay, so there you have it. So question is, when should Six Sigma be used? Okay, Six Sigma can be used. Its outage depends on the type of business in general. But if there are processes that generate a lot of negative customer feedback, whether that customer is internal or external, the component of Six Sigma should be considered as means to study and rectify the problem. Okay? If we are having a feedback from our internal or external customers, then there we have to have Six Sigma. So benefits of Six Sigma, it promotes learning across boundaries. It generates sustained success. It accelerates rate of improvements. It executes strategic change. It sets performance goals for everyone and enhances value for customer. If these things are on your notes and you wanted this one very badly, then that is the time you use Six Sigma. Okay? So, question for Six Sigma. Okay. So I guess I already been consumed your time. So if you have personal questions with Six Sigma and you wanted to pursue Six Sigma on your operations, on your businesses, or you wanted to consult on using of Six Sigma, please let me know. So ayan, this is a very good. Do I have time pa? May time pa ba ako, sir? Do I have time?
I'm afraid that we're running a little bit over time. I guess we can spare a couple more minutes.
Siguro, I have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Siguro. This is a very simple computation for Six Sigma for you to have an idea. For example, this is a case study. Your company output table. For example, you are producing these outputs per month, right? So from January to June, you have an output of 1,052 and so on and so. The defects is this one. You have the recorded defects. Okay. So your total output is 6,289. So your total defect is 53%. So that is meaning to say we will be having, this is a simple computation, 0.84% of defects. Okay. So if we will be computing this one, 53 over 6289 multiplied by x over a million. So I just do a simple mathematics, no complex mathematics. So I'll be getting x. My x will be 8,427.41 units. We will be going back to the table I presented you. So we are on what? 3 sigma capability, right? So that is a basic computation. So meaning to say our company is experiencing 3 sigma process capability in producing unit products with 8,428 unit defects per million opportunities among 1,055, 918. Kunyari, that is the currency. From the months of January to June year. Imagine if we will be, for example, let's say, for example, the unit cost per that is 18,500. So multiply by 8,422. This is our wasteful money. Imagine 155,918,000. Kung ano mang currency yan. Right? So that is some simple case study. So this is a very very alarming for us, diba? If we are, especially us business people, if we are presented a big amount of money, we will be rattled and why are we wasting such amount of money? So that is how we basically compute a simple Six Sigma problem. Okay? Thank you for that. That is very fast. If you have questions, you can contact your organization, and Sir Jophil is also there, my mentor. So you can also contact him. If you wanted your businesses to have been implemented Six Sigma little by little, I will be very happy to help IIBA members. That is my pledge to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Don't worry. I don't have a big what do you call that, talent fee. Starbucks coffee is just fine.
Can we have a copy of the slide as well?
Yeah. I am happy to share you the slides.
Thank you.
So I'll be sharing my slide to our president, I guess, through Doc Jophil. So the president can email you the slides, or you can screenshot this one. I am the one operating IXZPH, or you can email me there. So you can have any questions you wanted. You can also browse the page of the things that you can learn from my community, small community. I'm a community of 1,000 people, all professionals. So we always wanted to learn together. So if you have questions, we have topics there like value stream mapping, customer blueprints, something like that. Very helpful to those who are in the business sector.
Yeah, that was really, really helpful. Value stream mapping and computational clear computational efficiencies that are gained by Six Sigma. I think the third to last slide was it, like when Muda Muri, right? So reduce defects, reduce defects to zero. So over processing, wasting time. So those are really, really important things, especially when it comes to maximizing efficiency that are maximizing efficiency that organizations look forward to, and they look for business analysts to be able to do that. So to explain that. So for example, if you're able to program something faster, and instead of spending 15 days coding something from a developer standpoint, you want to try to when it takes only a couple hours to build that. So you want to reduce. You want to try to stop over processing, overthinking it, or spending extra time and stuff. So yeah, the computational and the end quality figures really work well. So then thank you so much, and look forward to the case study was per million saved by that currency was fantastic. Thank you so much. Look forward to working with you and hearing from you further. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right.
And thank you for
thank
having
so
me,
much.
IIBA. Thank you.
Yeah. With that, I'd just like to formally present Dr. Rick Manzon with a certificate of appreciation. We're posting it here on LinkedIn. Sir, I don't think we have your. Do you have a LinkedIn account?
Yeah, I have. So wow, I have. Oh, it's posted on LinkedIn. Talaga?
Yeah. We're
Wow.
posting a certificate of appreciation on LinkedIn. So, how can I find you here so that I can mention you at least?
Actually, my LinkedIn is Rick Donald Manzon.
Oh, here. We have a pending connection request.
Oh, I see. Sige, accept ko.
And then-
Christian, may I know the name? Christian, ASQCSSGB, right?
Oh, here. I'm able to mention you now. And your page, IXCPH, also has a LinkedIn.
Unfortunately, wala pa. So it's okay. It's me naman din. So I can din.
Okay. Yeah, and thanks to everyone, all the attendees, of course, for joining. It's been great. Sorry we went a bit over time, but very engaging topic. So sure it's well worth it. And thank you to our primary sponsor, Jackson Corp, for making this possible. All right. So with that, we can close. I will post this. Looking forward to seeing seeing everyone here, hearing from you guys. Yeah. Have a good evening, everyone. And
Thank
morning
you.
for those joining international.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful. That really helped a lot. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye. Thank
Good
you.
morning from the US. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. I have to actually go to work and talk to people. That's annoying.
Okay, everyone.
Alright.
Great
Thank
topic.
you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.